Hey, good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, good morning, depending on when you are practicing. It's actually the afternoon, Friday afternoon to be precise, and I've decided to deliver this practice to you. So, this practice is going to be centered around a peak pose called standing splits, but I don't want you to get too caught up with the final pose because whether or not we end up going there is really irrelevant. What's important is the journey and the build up towards that peak pose. So, all of the poses that are going to prepare us and ultimately prepare all the muscles that we're going to use. So, this is going to be very much leg based, very rather than top heavy, bottom heavy. We will be focusing on strengthening all the muscles on the front of the body, particularly those muscles that support joints like knees and ankles, and then lengthening the hamstrings. So if you do a lot of running or cycling, or you have a sedentary lifestyle during the day because of work, sat at a desk or driving, then the hamstrings can really impact us. In terms of our posture. If we've got tight hamstrings, it can pull the pelvis out of alignment, which then has a direct impact on the spine and how upright we can be. So anyway, I digress. I'm just going to come straight into this practice. It's going to be a short one. So hopefully that makes it much more accessible for you at home. And yeah, just enjoy it. I've got my socks on because it's a little bit cold here. It's not quite summer just yet. Standing on the front of the mat with feet either hip distance apart or big toes and heels touching. Spread out through all of your toes and drop your shoulders so that they sit down the back and in towards the spine. And feel that lift your chest. Start to bring some tone in towards the tummy. And establish your breath. We're going to be breathing in and out through the nose. Using a slight constriction in the back of our throat. And this constriction allows us to better control our flowing breath as it comes in and out. This also has a direct impact upon our central nervous system. So it's slowing down everything from our thoughts to our heart rate, slowing down all of the organs in the body, so kind of giving them a little bit of respite. Okay, let's begin. Inhale, stretch your arms up over your head and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold forwards. Draw your tummy in, draw your head in. First one, come onto the shins. Inhale, lift your head and look forwards. Step back, exhale, high plank pose. Shoulders are stacking over the wrists, and then bring your knees down to the floor. Keep the toenails tucked. Inhale. Exhale, chest comes down. Press into your hips, pressing into the top parts of your feet. See if you can lift your thighs as you inhale into cobra pose. And then exhale. We're going to tuck the toes, bend the knees, and lift the hips up into downward facing dog. So I can see now why we say to people not to practice with socks, because already I'm feeling that I'm not able to get that great connection that I normally get when I'm barefooted. So I might take my socks off in a minute. Bend your knees, look forwards. Inhale, stepping to the front of the mat, lift your chest. And exhale, fold. Draw the belly muscles in. Inhale, rising up with your arms over your head. And then exhale, arms down by sides. Inhale, circle the arms out and reach up. And exhale, hinging from the hips, bending the knees and curling your head all the way in. Either come back to your shins or come onto your fingertips. As you inhale, lift the head, look down at the floor and forwards of your feet. Step back, exhale, high plank. So we know we've got that earlier option where we can bring the knees down onto the floor. Otherwise, we energize the legs. So I want to move my tailbone towards the heels of my feet. I want to move my heart forwards. Lift the knees into the back of the thighs. Inhale. Exhale, come down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra pose. Lift the thighs, pressing into the hips. Exhale, tuck your toes. Lift your hips, down dog. One breath here. Lift your heels off the floor really high. Bend your knees. Inhale, step forwards. Lift your chest. And exhale, folding back in. Inhale, rising up, looking up. And exhale, palms together, arms by side. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Keep the energy in the legs. Exhale, use your belly muscles to help you come closer to your fold. Inhale, either your palms, your fingertips or your shins, as long as we've got that flat back. And then step back, exhale, high plank. All of the earlier variations of knees and coming all the way down onto your belly are still variations that you can come into. So I'm just going to add on, I guess, is what I'm trying to tell you. Inhale. Exhale, grip the sides of your body as you come down halfway and hover. Inhale, rolling over the toes and through the arms into upward facing dog. Exhale, pull the hips back up, down dog. One breath. Bend your knees, look forwards. Inhale, stepping forwards, lift your chest. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up with your arms over your head. And exhale, arms down by side. The last one, I think I'm going to treat myself and take my socks off. Yeah, it's a bit of a faux pas, really, practicing yoga in socks. Okay, we're going to move a little bit faster for this one. Inhale, you might want to come into a mini back bend. Clench your buttocks and your thighs. And then exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, palms, fingertips or shins. Pull the shoulders back up your back. Step back. Exhale, grip the sides of your body. And then big breath in as you straighten your arms and lift your hips and thighs. Exhale, down dog. One breath here. Bend your knees, look forwards. Stepping to the front of the mat, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, arms down by sides. Variation of what I'd call a moon salutation to prepare the legs for some of the work that we've got ahead. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Option to come into a miniature back bend. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, release the knee and uncurl the toes. Make sure that the knee sits over the top of the ankle joint. Inhale, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, palms together and push your hips back. Rebend that leg, step back into a plank on knees or toes. Inhale. Exhale towards the floor. Big breath in, pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale, lift the hips. One breath. Tops the shins come down to the floor. Left leg steps forwards. I can always use my arms to aid it there. And I want to make sure that I've taken a big enough step that I can feel a stretch in my back hip flexor. Inhale the arms up, look up. Exhale, palms together, hips back. Rebend, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Inhale, step forwards. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up, miniature back bend. Exhale, straight the way back down. Right leg steps back on an inhale. Exhale, uncurl and release. Inhale, stretch the arms up, look up. Exhale, palms together, hips back. Rebend, step back, plank on knees or toes. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bend your knees, step your right leg forwards as you inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reaching your fingertips up, looking up. Exhale, hips back, hands to the floor. Rebend your knee, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, folding down. I like to think it's a little bit more authentic, me practicing here with my head so close to the radiator, as I'm sure that you've got perhaps similar spaces to mine. We're a little bit restricted here. Okay, one more on each side. Step the left leg back, inhale. Exhale, release. Now, as you inhale, push forwards into the front foot and the hip. Exhale, hips back. Rebend, step back, plank. Breathe in. Breathe out to lower. Inhale, make sure those heels don't roll out. Exhale, pull the heels towards the floor. Shins come down, left leg steps forwards. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathing in, looking up. Breathing out, hips back. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, fold. Last one, right leg steps back. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reaching up, looking up. And exhale, hips back. Plank. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, squeeze the upper arms into the side body. Exhale, pull your hips up. Bend your knees, right leg forwards. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, hips back. Rebend, tuck, lift. Inhale, step. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, palms together, arms by sides. So sacred pause at the front of the mat. Feeling the energy in the legs and the connection with the floor. The crown is lifting to the ceiling. The shoulders are descending down towards the back. Maybe you like to close your eyes as you connect with your breath. We're going to use some movement to bring us towards the floor and into our next sequence of poses. Inhale, miniature back bend, tension in thighs and buttocks. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pull the heart forwards, pull the shoulders up the back. Step back, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, pull the shoulder blades inwards. Exhale, pull the hips upwards. Inhale, step a step, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee and step it through. What I try to do when I'm moving and I'm stepping through is not to stomp. So I almost imagine that for one moment today, I'm like a ballerina and I'm trying to move gracefully. All right, from here, we're going to inhale, we're going to sweep that right arm up. And exhale, sweep it back. So you can be on the fingertips, be on the palm, and putting the head of that shoulder away from the ear, keeping a strong bend in that front knee. Bring your hand down to the floor, start to straighten the front leg, and you're controlling the amount of sensation that you feel in your hamstring. Your back heel is lifted. Maybe you start to take your nose towards your knee. Take a couple of breaths here. Rebend, place your back foot flat to the floor. I want you to move your front hip bone backwards, yet your back hip bone forwards to get them level and square to the front of the mat. Chest moves forwards, inhale. Exhale, right arm lifts up. It may be that you need to come up onto your shin or your thigh bone, and it also may be that you need to bend your front knee. So yes, you'll feel this in that front hamstring. Hands to the floor, bending that front knee, rising up into warrior one. And then exhale, relax the arms, coming into a high lunge. Might be a little bit short in the stance. We start to bend that front knee and open the arms out to the sides. One breath here. Circle the hands down, step back, high plank. Control your body as you lower towards the floor, and then a deep breath. Inhale, pull your shoulder blades together. Exhale, pull the hips up. Inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, bend the knee, sweep it through. So I can either come onto my fingertips, or if I've got a block, I can use it, or the palm. I inhale, lift my left arm up, and then exhale, reaching it back. Keeping my front foot firmly planted into that floor, and a deep bend, but the back leg is energized. And then that fingertip, those fingertips going to come back down as I straighten my front leg and get my back foot flat to the floor. Pulling back hip forwards and front hip back. Inhale. Exhale, lifting that left arm up. You can always move my foot further out to the side. Fingertips to the floor, bend the front knee, rise up, warrior one. Maybe a little bit of a shorter stance. Exhale. High lunge. Right arm forwards. Left arm back. Maybe bending the knees. Twisting towards the leg in front. Circle the hands down to the floor. You can skip some vinyasas if you need to. Breathe in. Breathe out lower. Inhaling. Exhaling. I think the key thing that I'd like to get across to anybody who's practicing yoga is that it's not just the poses themselves that give us the tremendous benefits. The physical and the mental, emotional and spiritual benefits. It's the breath combined with the pose. So the breath is super, super important to our process. And every time you come into a pose, it's important that you are able to breathe freely and deeply. And if you're not, then you need to find a way to get there. Inhale, take the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee. as you sweep it through. So this time it's in between your hands. You seal the back foot down onto the ground, and then you're opening out into Warrior Two pose. Straightening both of your legs. Breathe in. Breathe out as we reach forwards. Right hand comes down. We're going to reach the left hand up, but then I'm going to place the hands either into the small of the back, or I'm going to take hold of it and wrap it around either my thigh or my waist. What's happening here is the crown of my head is moving this way, my hip bone is moving the other way, so I'm trying to extend my spine forwards of that thigh bone. I'm feeling a deep stretch again in this hamstring. Now rebend that front leg, either bring your forearm to your thigh or reaching to the inside or outside of the leg, and roll that top shoulder back. See if you can lower your hips and take the breath where you feel that your body needs it the most. So for me, it's the hips. Release that back arm, use it as the lever to pull you up. And exhale, facing the longer side of the mat, and adjust myself so I don't headbutt this rocking chair. Feet are parallel, toes are turning in, heels are turning out. Inhale the arms. Exhale, interlace the fingers. Lift your chest, inhale. And exhale, fold. I often feel like sometimes I need some sort of talcum powder to get a better grip with my arms. So you might feel like that too. They might start to slide apart. Bend the knees, hands to the sacrum, hands back to the floor, pivot to the front. Inhale, sweep that right arm up, back, and then down. Step back. Let's keep the vinyasa going. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Deep breath. Inhale. Feel that length through the hips. Exhale. Pull the hips up. Inhale. Left leg is up. And then exhale. Sweeping it through. Ground the back foot. Bending that front knee. Opening out to Warrior Two. Straightening the legs, firming up the thighs and the buttocks. Inhale. Exhale, reaching towards the front of the mat. Some comes up, then I bring it behind my back, or I gently take hold of it and wrap it around me. I want to get nice openness through the shoulders, through the chest, but I still want to extend this way. I also want to keep opening the hips. Rebending that leg, either the forearm to the thigh or reaching down towards the floor. Releasing that arm, inhale, opening out to Warrior Two. And exhale. I think we'll do a little bit of a different forward fold as we face the long side of the mat. Hands to the waist this time. Inhale, press the hips forwards. And then exhale, take a deep fold in the hips. We use the strength of the upper thighs, and that's generally what happens when we come into forward folds and standing splits. The upper thighs are contracting. And in this forward fold, our thighs are rotating inwardly. The toes are relaxed, and we're using the balls of the feet as the brakes to stop us from rolling forwards. Bending the knees, hands to the floor, pivot round to the front, take that left arm up, take it back, and then hand back to the floor. Step back, inhale, plank. Exhale to lower. Deep inhale. Complete exhale.
Let's stay here on our mats and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and sighing, exhaling out through the mouth. Let's begin. So a lot of tension can be held in our hips. They say that it's the seat of our emotions. They also say that if we like folding forwards, then we like looking forward into the future. But life, of course, is about balance, and we don't always want to be living in the future. And that can also cause us to feel emotions such as anxiety. So it's really important that even whilst we have goals and ambitions, that we are able to enjoy the present moment. And I think the breath in the practice of yoga allows us to stay present, or keeps us present. Inhale, take the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee. Lift the knee towards the ceiling and feel how that hip opens. You can bend your supporting leg if you need to, and not allowing that shoulder to open out. Inhale, lifting that leg up, but flexing the ankle joints so the toes point down so the hips are level. Press out of your palms. Now point the toes towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, sweep through. Hands on the inside. And if you wanted to come down lower onto your forearms, you can. Keep the energy in that back leg. And then now bring the knee down to the floor. Hands on the other side, the arm on the other side of the leg. Move the foot either across to the other side of the mat, or as you take your knee to the outside edge of your mat, pull the heel towards the hip or the groin on the other side, coming into a high pigeon pose. So what can help us with folding forwards is flexibility in the hips. If the hips are tight too, that's going to pull the pelvis forwards. And that has a direct impact on the spine and also the back of the legs. Relax onto that floating buttock and pick your back leg up behind you. Cross it over the top of your right leg. If you needed to, straighten your bottom leg. Wrap your right arm around your left leg. Lift your chest and twist. What we call an open twist, which is more beneficial if you've had any abdominal surgery or you're pregnant. Latter stages, you'd want to always do an open twist. Okay, sweeping your legs back. Try not to catch that radiator if you're next to one. Let's come into cobra. Use the back to lift that chest off. Inhale. Exhale. Down dog. Taking your left leg up into the air as you inhale. Exhale, bending the knee. Lifting the knee up towards the ceiling. Equal push in both arms. You can lift the heel of the supporting leg off, or you can bend it. And then straightening that leg, flexing the ankle joint so the toes point down. Keep hugging your tummy in. Point the toes towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, sweep it through. Hands under the shoulders, chest comes forwards. Deep breaths into the hips.
And of course, you can come down onto your forearms. One more breath. Bring the back knee down. Set up for pigeon, moving a foot across. Knee comes to the outside edge of the mat, or heel, rather than across to the other side of the mat, move towards the hip or the groin area. Slide your back leg back long, and fists or fingertips. Relaxing onto your buttock. Pick your back leg up and cross it over the top of your left leg. You can release the bottom leg if you need to, hugging with your left arm as you wrap your arm around that thigh. Lift your chest and twist. And then an open twist. Sweep your legs back round, and this time just coming into a wide-legged child's pose and an extended child's pose as we reach the arms forwards, pressing into the palms to press the hips back. Hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up and then bring your knees back in line with your hips. We're now going to start to move towards our peak pose. But again, it might not be something that we actually even come into. There are lots of alternatives. Hands towards the front of the mat, tuck your toes, bend your knees and lift your hips up. Inhale, taking that right leg up. Exhale, sweep it through. Now from here, I'm going to move my foot back so that I'm not headbutting the radiator in front of me. Supported, warrior 3. We're on our fingertips. I'm moving my heart forwards, and now I'm going to flex my back foot so that my toes are pointing down. Maybe I decide to stay here, or I look at taking my fingertips off. Now, if you've got super, super tight hamstrings, this pose is maybe hard for you, particularly straightening that leg, in which case you can bend the knee, but know that over time you're going to want to straighten it, but you're controlling the amount of sensation that you feel by the bending or straightening that leg. We never lock out. Okay, fingertips to the floor. Either stay here or coming into a twist as you take your right arm up. Rotating through the trunk of that body. One more breath. We're going to open out to the sides. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Feeling that on the inside of my thigh bone, my adducting muscles. And now standing splits. Using hands either side, I'm going to fold from the crease of my hip and relax my head, taking my head in the direction of my knee. Start to draw the tummy muscles in. And I'm controlling the amount of sensation that I want to feel in the back of that leg. Pulling all my toes together on that leg that's lifted and lifting that leg up towards the ceiling. And then take some nice deep breaths. Maybe you wrap your arm around that leg. Maybe both arms. And then exhale, floating that foot up. Wow, and just rocking side to side on your feet. In yoga, we start to feel how interconnected all the muscles are
and how when we stretch or we strengthen one muscle, it has a direct impact on either an opposing muscle on the other side of the body, or a muscle that's close by. All right, fingertips, palms or shins. Inhale, move the heart forward. Step back, exhale. Deep breath, inhale. Exhale, down dog. Left leg reaches up into the air. Exhale, sweep it through. I'm going to pull my leg back. So I've got the room to come into my supported warrior 3. Lift the tummy away from the floor, flex the back foot, and try to get your hips level. Just take a breath or two here. Maybe you're coming into the pose fully. Fingertips back to the floor, taking the left arm up. And noticing, as we move to the other side, where and when the breath gets caught. Jagged, rapid. Okay. The leg that's lifted, squeeze all the toes together. So I call this like a poised ballerina leg. Relax the toes on the supporting leg and fold from the crease of the hip. Use this top leg as a counterweight. And then float that leg down. Bending your knees, get your ribs onto your thighs and just fold forwards. Hang heavy. Come down into a squat position. So you may be like me, maybe a little bit tougher to get your feet completely flat to the floor, and that's okay. Palms together. Arms are on the insides, opening the thighs out, lift the chest. Send your tailbone down towards the floor and breathe into your hips. Hands to the floor, step back onto all fours. Let's take a couple of cow and cat poses. Cow pose, so we stick the tailbone up towards the ceiling, roll the eyes up, heart forward, inhale. Exhale, rounding. And again, continuing to breathe. From cow into cat. One more. And just sitting back. Sacred pause, thighs together. You may like to, in your sacred pause, take your feet a little bit wider than the hips as we come into a variation called Virasana. The calf muscles roll out to the side as the bottom lowers towards the floor. And just something I want to mention today, just a little bit of food for thought. It's the 6 basic human needs that we all need to have a successful future ahead and even a successful present. And the first one is certainty. We all need certainty. We need to know that we can come home. We've got a home to come back to. We've got a roof over our head, that we can afford to pay for that roof and put food on the table and clothes on our backs. Just in the same way that we need the basic fundamentals in the practice of yoga, we need the stability in our foundations, like our feet and our thighs and our tailbone. And that's in order for us to move further up the chain, up the ladder. And I kind of feel
the way I think about certainty is the same way that I think about the Muladhara chakra. From here, we're going to come into a counter pose of all the forward folds that we've been doing. And that's camel. So just making sure that your knees are under your hips. Hands are to the sacrum, elbows in, shoulder blades in. Use your hands to press the ribs forwards. Relax the head back and just take some deep breaths here. Chin to chest, bottom comes down, and either sit on the heels of the feet or keep your thighs and knees together and sit back into Virasana. Toes are pointing back, heels are on the outsides of the hips. So that makes sense if our basic fundamentals, our stability, our foundations are unstable. It's really hard to move forward in life, right? Because you're thinking about, gosh, I need a home. I need a job so that I can support myself. But once all of those boxes are ticked, then we can move up the chain into what I call the sacral chakra, the Swadhisthana, the seat of desire. We need uncertainty. We need the element of surprise, so that not every day is like Groundhog Day. Suddenly we see something that somebody else has and it inspires us. Wow, how can I get that? I'm not sure, I'm not certain. So we need uncertainty. Coming back out of the pose, thighs tracking forwards, knees underneath the hips. Either keep your toes untucked or start to tuck them. And then hands onto the sacrum, pinky fingers touching if you can, elbows in, relax the head back. Now either stay here or reaching down to grab hold of the heels of your feet. There'll be an element of surprise perhaps as you lean back, and then try to press forwards so that your hips can stack over your knees. Chin to chest, bottom comes down, uncurl the toes and sit back. It's time to take the legs and sweep them out in front. It's just the same way if we did the same yoga practice every day, and there are practices like that, the Bikram series and Ashtanga, if we came to our mat with that same perspective of, well, it's the same, you know, I'm just kind of going to go into it with that attitude, we would become disinterested, and we certainly wouldn't find that we're getting any benefits from our practice. So we can still come into practices with that element of surprise, even though every pose we've probably done before, and maybe even 100 or 1,000 times before, but each time we're looking for a different experience. What's presenting today? Maybe your body doesn't feel the same today. All right, take a bend in your right leg, sole of the foot against the inside of the thigh, reach the arms up, inhale. As you exhale, pull the tummy in and either reach your hands towards the floor or towards your foot. As long as you're not rounding the spine in an attempt to get forwards, that's okay. And you can also bend your knee here. And then I forget the order, so that's 2 basic needs, right? Then we need significance. And I don't know if that is the next one up the chain. Okay, placing your right hand behind you. Poise that ballerina's leg as you reach up, reach your hands towards the back of your mat. We need to feel that we mean something to someone, or that we mean something. We have a purpose, as a reason for us why we exist. Take a bend in the left leg. And all of us look for that sense of significance in different areas, whether we feel that we are significant in our household, whether we are the mother or the father or the caretaker of that family, and we feel needed, we feel significant. Whether it's we run a business or in a job and we feel an integral part of that machine and we feel significant. So there are so many different examples of that. So that's 3, right? Now poise that foot. Take your left hand back. Reach your right arm up and reach towards the back of the mat. I love these poses. And then come all the way back down. Sitting cross-legged now on your mat before we come into Shavasana, sitting upright. Let's do some chin rolls. Take your chin around the front of the body from one shoulder to the other. And then the 4th one is connection. Everybody needs connection. You know, whether that is you feel connected to your partner, your romantic partner, and then move your head around the back of the body. You feel that intimacy, whether it's the parent and child, whether you feel that connection with your child, whether you feel that in a friendship, and then just sitting upright, head moving from side to side, whether you feel connected to the planet, you know, to nature, to animals, and then head back to the center and just grounding into your sitting bones. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose. Whether you feel connected to spirit, the universe. So we've got certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection. And then I know that I've missed one out. Giving back. We need to feel, I kind of feel it's similar to the significance. We need to feel that we are able to give back. That we can give something back to this planet that we're on. Because when we give, we feel great. And they often say that the very things that you need in life, whether you need love, whether you need to recognition, is to give it. If you want it, then give it in abundance. And the universe will return it. And it may be that I have to leave you with that thought. And you have to look up the 6 basic human needs. When you're ready, coming down onto the back of your body into Shavasana. So when you come down onto your back, it may be that your knees are bent. It may be that your legs are outstretched into the traditional Shavasana. Whatever feels most appropriate for you. Allow your body to become super, super heavy. And please don't skip this. It's the part of the practice where we get the most benefit. It's like, how I look at it is like this. If you wanted to make your body this lean, mean fighting machine, you know, you wanted to have lean muscles, and you worked out every single goddamn day training the same muscles, you probably wouldn't see that much improvement because you're constantly fatiguing the same set of muscles and you're not giving them that time for adaptation. So when we sleep, we rejuvenate. Our cells rejuvenate, repair, and Shavasana is such an integral part of the practice. So allow the breath to just move freely. No need to alter it or change it. I'm going to take my hairband out as I'm talking to you. I kind of feel like I'm able to relax better when my hair is down as well. And maybe that is something that you can think about over the next few days is, what areas of your life do you feel there is certainty? What areas of your life do you feel there is uncertainty? Would you like more uncertainty? Would you like the element of surprise much more? What areas in your life do you look for significance? Where would you want to look for significance? What could bring you that feeling and the feeling of connection? What areas in your life do you feel a lack of? And what areas of your life do you feel a deep connection? And what areas of your life do you feel that you are able to give, to be of service? Please feel free to stay here for as long as you need. But otherwise, start to move your fingers and thumbs and toes and ankles and wrists and elbows and knees. Take a big stretch through your whole body and hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side on the base of your spine. And roll to your one side of your body. And sitting up in your own time. We'll bring the hands together, the thumbs against the heart, and we'll close the eyes down. Take a moment to honor the physical body that you're in. You have a physically able body that can practice yoga. Your very being. There is only one of you. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing in this practice. Have a lovely rest of your day or evening. Namaste. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, please join me on Instagram at Lee and Cooper. This is Leigh and Cooper, or follow me on Facebook. I've got a page. Really do appreciate everybody that's watching and just supporting and sharing the love, and love back at you. Thanks.